What's going on, everyone? We're on our way down to Council Bluffs, Iowa to check out the Squirrel Cage jail. Excited night for the channel, excited night for the both of us. We're going to be bunkies tonight. And not just that, but this is the first jail on the channel. And what better than a unique, one-of-a-kind location. So we hope you guys enjoy this content. We are headed to a rotary jail. For those of you who are unaware where the rotary jail is, it's just a jail with the center set up to where it lets individuals out of their cells one at a time. So
at certain times, so it'll rotate.
It'll rotate, and it takes about 8 to 12 minutes to do a full rotation. This one was a hand-cranked one, but it currently don't rotate no more. It hasn't rotated since 1969, and they've been having a lot of activity since the 70s, 80s, 90s, different type of stuff happening, and we're going to go check it out for ourselves just to see what we're able to capture while we're there. Some of the activities that they've said to have happened though at this location include poltergeist type activities, knocking, walking, the sound of kids feeling like you're being tugged on, the sound of people talking. Also, not just that, but people get this presence and apparition, so to speak, and that used to be where the jailer used to actually live with his wife and stuff. So it's a very interesting location. Obviously, we're about to hop into the history on the location and give you guys a tour. So we really hope you guys appreciate it. We appreciate you guys checking out this content.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. So we're heading to Council Bluffs, Iowa to go to jail.
It'll be Chloe's first time going to jail. It better be your first and last time.
We're going to the Squirrel Cage jail. Again, we're going to Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's one of the
Haunted jails.
Yeah, haunted jails.
It was built in 1985 and it closed in 1969.
Yep.
So we'll see if there's any former inmates there to party with us. Treat us
Never
away
been to
from
jail
life.
before.
Not this way.
Lord knows we're going to need to.
Your first stop, if you're arrested here at the Potawatomi County Jail, is the booking office. Bring you in here, take away your shoelaces, belt buckle, anything they found to be dangerous is taken away, but they allowed inmates to keep matches and cigarettes. It's a very different time when we were open, so that was perfectly fine. We opened in 1885 and served the county up until 1969. Big difference in here is the light fixture. The two that are out that look like bowls, that was for gas, and that's what lit the building for 60 years. After that, it is electricity, but just the main areas. But that means even today, these windows do bring in the majority of light into the building. So overcast, gets a little dark in here.
Yeah.
And I know you guys were perusing a little bit, but these are from about 1940, and we have multiple years in this book, so it's kind of a small selection of the amount of people that were through here. When we get upstairs, we'll see some photocopies of jailer records from 1933, and we have fingerprint cards and some mugshots throughout the facility as well. But most people aren't excited that they're in jail or going to jail, so we have a solitary confinement. I'm going to open up that door.
Okay.
And then I'll ask you guys to stand kind of in front of the display case, because there's no sharing space in this section. It is just right here where I'm standing.
Wow.
It's about 6 feet tall, 2 by 1 on deep and wide. And it's good for 30 minutes to a few hours. Longest we're aware of is 10 days right here.
Oh, wow.
I have to see if I even.
Yeah, it's very short, so do watch your head as you step in.
Yeah.
If you're in here for an extended period of time, you're going to get bread and water twice a day, coffee can or bucket in here at your feet is your toilet, and this door will be shut. So I can move around a little bit, but I don't really have shoulders. So you can see how it would be very uncomfortable for many others. You're welcome to step in. Do watch your head as you step in. It's a solid
So you'd stand up.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think you'd have to stand.
I became a contortionist at some
Well,
sort.
I mean-
Be able to.
Oh my gosh.
I can sit, but I don't think I'd get back up.
Right.
Wow.
Here you go.
I'd be fine. I'm sure.
See, finally, being short comes in handy here.
Oh God, and there's people behind. Well,
Luckily, there is a gate at the end of that hallway. So say your group is fighting in amongst yourself, one is going to go in a little standing spot probably, and the rest in the hallway. Or if you did something enough where you need a timeout, you might get the hallway, and you might not have to stand in just a tiny box. You could sit.
sitting here.
Yeah.
It's
No.
definitely giving me coffin vibes.
Well, what's the longest that you know of someone was in there for?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah. And the gentleman who was in there for the 10 days, he died in prison about 2.5 years ago. I think it'll be 3 years this September. That's where I'm getting confused.
Wow.
He was in his early 80s.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he was in and out a few times.
Yeah.
In and out at what we like to call the new jail.
Right.
It's new to us. And then he's picked up in California and extradited back here. So, anybody else want to get in solitary?
You guys want to
All
try?
Go try.
Yeah. All right.
No, when are you going to get to hang out in solitary, right? And you know you get to step out when you want to.
Don't get your ideas.
We'll head across. Do watch your head if you go underneath the stairs.
That is crazy.
We'll head right in here.
Standing there. That's
Yeah,
their-
that's it. That's it. And then when
And
they
you guys
have
are
a
welcome
pee or
to hang out
something,
in
they open
solitary
the door
tonight if you'd like
piss
to.
in the bucket.
The hallway does get nice and dark.
Yeah. That is crazy. Oh, that's
Probably one of the creepier places I think we have. Something about tiny dark spaces, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're supposed to love those as humans, I think. But this room is the kitchen. This is where the jailer's wife is going to spend basically all of her time. In order to work here, the jailer the requirement is having a wife or a sister. That's the
to help
big
with-
requirement. Yeah. So you
okay.
can't have an unmarried couple living together in the same building. That's just inappropriate. So she's cooking for 60 to 90 inmates per mealtime for capacity on this stove. It's also the only source of heat for the first 20 years. Coals will be heated up, distributed around the building in buckets. After that, it's steam heat or radiators. But even today, it's hot when it's hot outside. It's cold when it's cold outside. It's 3 layers of brick for the exterior walls with metal over that in the cell blocks. They tend to pick up the temperatures we would prefer they didn't. By 1920, the sink is put in, as well as a summer kitchen outside that far door. You can see some pictures of it to the left of that door. It's far more industrial, easier to prepare the massive quantities of food coming through this room. It takes some of the hot air out during the summer months, which is very important here. Jailer Otto and his wife, I believe it was the 1950s, were just making food in here, and it was about 114 degrees.
Oh,
So,
wow, yeah.
everyone was being punished here.
Oh, that's so cool.
This room also served as the family's dining room. So the jailer, wife, and family did live on site. And we'll see their quarters on the 4th floor, but this is the only kitchen facility, so dining facility as well. The icebox in the back right-hand corner, that is original. We had one of the jailer's grandkids come in and let us know that. And the cabinet just in front of it is also original. It's built in the early 1900s by Jailer Gronewig. And we have another cabinet upstairs that has the same detail work across the top that lets us know he also built that cabinet.
Okay.
And it's the same light fixture in here that we saw in
And,
the office. You're welcome to look around in here. I do think sometime tonight you should take a peek at this. It's a menu from the 1960s. We're told it was pretty good food and fair treatment overall, which I like to hear that.
Right.
That's not always the case at these old jails.
Oh, yeah.
But respect was a huge part of life in this building, because if you would just have a jailer and wife as the staff, they're the staff tomorrow, the next night, the next day.
They have to
So,
stay here. They
they
don't
have
get
to
to
stay
go home
here.
when some of these people do.
And if you're rude to them, there's no shift change.
Nope.
They're going to remember, because it's one thing to mark it down in somebody's notes, but you still get like a little bit more of a new leaf with that next shift, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not if it's the same guy you ticked off last night and he still has to feed you in the morning.
Oh my
So respect went really far in this building, back and forth. Because 60 guys, 2 people working here, you also need to respect them. They could take it over pretty quickly if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But this is a model of the design. So we're standing right about here. All 3 levels would have rotated as one large piece, and it was meant to do that continuously. It did for about the first 5 to 20 years with the assistance of a water motor. Unfortunately, that burns out somewhere in the middle. So it goes to hand crank or manual movement only. So we have a hand crank at the front of each level. You want someone a third, you're gonna crank it around, line it up. Only way in and out is that swinging door. Each door moves separately, but there is one on each level. There's bars all the way around the rest of the cage, so it is just that one opening per level.
Okay.
10 cells per floor, 2 inmates per cell for a capacity of 60 in the cage. Originally, that was likely 14 years of age and up. So the age of adult has changed since our building opened originally. But that's how it worked until 1960, when the fire marshal came in and said this is too dangerous. It's getting stuck, inmates are getting injured on purpose, on accident. If there's an emergency or fire, it's going to take too long to clear it out. So where it sits today is where it stopped by his order. They removed the swinging doors, as well as parts of the hand crank mechanism in the column. But then they cut into the cells, all the way around the first floor, second and third, where we have the front platforms. The 2 back upper tiers we can see, but they're no longer accessible. So it goes from 60 to a little less than half capacity with some different dangers for the next 9 years, because there's no way to lock inmates in their cells. It's a nice little straight opening that you just walk into
Right.
or walk out of, whatever you feel like. We've got the big door here and some side doors, but that's it. So inmates did run the floor until it closed in December of 1969. Any questions on this guy? All right, we'll head into the jail. As you come in on your right, you will see where there would have been a hand crank located on this level. We'll see a better one upstairs, but that is right here. And you can also see where that swinging door could latch into one of 3 spots, and this was the original opening that you'd be rotated to. When you turn my direction, there's a step down.
What's your step?
Oh, boy.
He's the first of many, so just start assuming they're there.
Oh my gosh.
But every other cell will be dark to give you an idea of what it looked like before 1960. Until rotation of the cells stops, light bulbs can be placed in there. We have the main lights out here, and of course we have a very bright light coming from the window. So different time of year, different time of day, you do get sunlight throughout the building. But once it stops, light bulbs are placed inside. It's the inner drum is what's going to rotate. These bars stay solid. And if you look at the base, it's a giant gear in and of itself.
Okay.
And it's about 90,000 pounds empty. Very heavy structure. It is crooked, at least an inch or so off of gear alignment. And that's going to be age. Also, you have to weigh the inmates kind of.
Oh,
So if you put 5 larger guys in on one side, you need to put 5 larger guys in
yeah.
on the other side, or vice versa. Or that nice balance is going to go out of place. So that would be part of the function of the building, and probably partially why it's crooked. But we're also in the Midwest. Everything expands and contracts, especially big metal buildings.
Yeah.
So that also plays a big part. Now there are 2 bunks in the cell. The very back of the cell, you'll see it better in some of the others, but you can see a little shelf or alcove. The little seat, that's the toilet. There used to be just a hole. It's been covered for museum safety, but that would be it. It has running water in a very loose sense of the term. It's a gravity flow flush, so it did remove the waste to kind of a 15-foot sewage pipe in the base. The only ventilation, though, are small holes on the curved portion of that alcove. And it was a heat rises idea. Is how you're going to get the toilet smells up and out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that worked really, really well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you can also smoke as much as you want. So you have that going on. And we'll talk about showers or the lack thereof in a little bit. It smells really good back here is what I'm going after. Here where we came in, though, you can see writing on the ceiling. You'll see that on the ceilings of the cells and undersides of the bunks. That is done by the inmates. They would roll a piece of paper, light it on fire, and write with the soot and the smoke. So we're very lucky that is original. We were a jail and jail museum. We haven't really had, well, there hasn't been anything in between except for just getting paperwork and red tape. Because going from county to nonprofit takes a few signatures. And these 2 walls, these are all about escapes and attempted escapes. Not all of them, but ones we find more interesting. Starting in 1915 and working our way into the 60s. And in this case are some of the locks and restraints that were used here. Then would you guys like to know about the deaths in the facility today?
Yes.
Alrighty. I would like to double check before I just start talking about it.
Understand.
So,
Yeah,
one article is in here, and that's going to be from about 1907 with Harry Cohen. What occurred would have been out here. This is just where we put the article. But he was smoking 150 to 200 hand-rolled cigarettes a day. He was sweeping, and he started feeling a little weak, so he sat down, and he passed away of a heart attack.
Oh, I imagine.
That one just doesn't shock people. You're welcome to step into that cell. Be like, just do keep in mind.
Hand rolls, right? Back then, hand
Yeah,
rolls,
so he's
right?
hand rolling all of them and smoking them. So full-time job, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And what? So I'm curious. So like back then, type of commentaries, that type of stuff. Like
I don't know that we had one.
okay,
I haven't seen record of it. That's not to say we
there wasn't.
didn't.
Yeah.
But they did get supplies and materials. Our assumption is that friends were allowed to bring them things, or if you had some
Okay.
money, maybe trustees, or
Yeah, like hygiene stuff like
yeah, well, hygiene's a whole different
Well,
thing.
yeah.
That I know they didn't have much of.
Yeah.
But I can tell you they could get cigarettes and matches for sure.
Right.
Other things, you could have comic books, playing cards, but if that's destroyed, it's not replaced. That's more your personal possession.
Yeah.
Same with your bedding. If that's destroyed, replacements are not occurring.
Okay.
You've destroyed it, and that's kind of on you.
Yep.
Down there is that other side of solitary confinement. You're welcome to go down that hallway. I recommend doing it in
that's
groups no larger than 2.
Yeah.
Because whoever's at the front, if they don't want to be there anymore,
They're in a
stuck
lot of
if you
room,
have-
yeah.
Yeah, there is no getting past somebody, and I think that makes it a little bit worse than standing in that little spot because you get a little trapped. People would climb up the bars in order to ride up there.
Mm.
Not something I would do,
Yeah.
but I have more, enrichment in my life.
For real.
Oh my gosh.
And then we do have some black cutouts or cardboard cutouts in the cells. You can see one in this one.
Yeah.
There's one all the way up there.
Okay.
One back here, a couple on the back, and one on the far side.
Okay.
They work a little bit better during the daytime. Now, like I said, inmates did climb up these bars in order to write on the ceiling. They've also carved into the picnic table. This table is original, likely built back here because of that small entryway. On the other side, you can get some better views of what's written on the ceiling. And do watch for that tonight. It's not for me. I've walked into the bars more than once this week.
Oh.
On the walls, they've also carved, and actually on the floor in front of that display case, and all the carvings would have been done using a spoon.
Okay.
They have more patience than I will ever have in my entire life.
Oh, for sure.
I know there wasn't a lot to do, but that doesn't give me patience. Probably makes me more annoying. And we have more information about him upstairs, and I'll tell you guys a little bit more of his story up there. It's kind of the highlights case, for lack of a better term.
So yeah, I read about him a little bit. I was like, whoa.
He's a creepy guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably one of the creepier ones that came through. Not the only creepy one, but I'm not too upset that we didn't have like a long list of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Back here, though, we did have an inmate, Morris Pruitt. In 1960, he was sitting back here at the picnic table. He had about a 90-day sentence. About halfway through, he did die of a sudden heart attack.
Okay.
And then in this area, actually, we're going to look up the cage, because there used to be catwalks that went around the second and third level. So you can see to the right of the hand up there where it's roughly cut. Catwalks were about 20, 30 or so inches in width with a small lip. They're made just for the jailer's use to make sure everything's going okay with the function. Inmates are not allowed up there. It's posted they're not allowed up there. So of course in 1942, Joseph Lattack, an inmate, goes up to the third floor catwalk. We don't know exactly why he was up there, but he was. He ends up either slipping, losing his footing, and he hits the ground and broke his neck upon impact.
Right there.
Probably just behind, I think, from how the story is read.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I love it. People are standing right there when I get to talk about it.
Right there.
Investigators jump less, but the Halloween tours get a little,
Yeah.
they're all twitchy and they get so much closer to me. I love it. That's part of the job. And that's going to be all about fingerprinting. Kind of as a whole, it was new to our facility. In some ways, it started in about 1903, and we opened in 1885. So before that, it's going to be names, and you'd write down on a fingerprint card all of on the physical description.
Okay.
So it was easier to have an alias.
Yeah. Like catalogs.
And especially before having a nice, searchable keyword database. You had to mail that into the state. Hopefully you can get that and get it back.
Right.
But this map is where all 18 rotary, Lazy Susan, or squirrel cage jails were built across the country. First one's built in 1881, the last one in 1888. They do spread pretty quickly in that time period, but most stay in the center of the country, with some going to the upper northeast. Of those, only 3 of us remain today. Ours, which is the largest at 3 tiers of rotary, there's a 1-story in Gallatin, Missouri, and a 2-story in Crawfordsville, Indiana. It can still rotate. That's what it means by still operational up there.
Oh, okay.
All 3 of us are museums today. I think it's fun because the one that can still rotate is the first one built back in 1881. So they did something right with the first one.
Right.
I think we were a little too tall.
Right.
We were an
Just the
experiment that
story
didn't go
too
quite
thick,
right.
yeah.
And our base is a little bit different. They have kind of a pole underneath theirs, and more of our weight is from an I-beam on top. And you can see the I-beam. They should be like this, right? Ours is like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can see why it didn't work as well as we would have liked. Over here we do have some of the different layouts, but even on this you can see usually it's one big piece here, and you might have the building out front. Same with Gallatin. If we had a side view of Crawfordsville, we'd see that front building as well. Ours is kind of one big piece. So the jailer and his wife at the other locations have a nice 2-story home usually. Ours live directly above our heads. The ventilation shaft of the toilet, it goes directly through the cylinder, it goes directly through the jailer's apartment. So it's going to smell really good up there too. And all the noises from down here, those also
Echo yeah.
upstairs. Even if you're just, walking around in the cells, that sound echoes. You guys are welcome to go into that cell tonight. I'm not sure why the chair's in the dead center of it, so you're welcome to move that around too. You can see some cards of different groups that have been through. You are more than welcome to add a card up there as well.
Awesome.
And then on the right side of the cell, if you'd like to look at it, there are some pictures of things that have been caught here over the years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, feel free to move that chair out of the way. It's usually out here.
I'm going to set it back there. That is crazy.
There's not enough space in those cells to start with.
Holy crap.
What?
This right here, remember that group that I told you guys about? That my first communication with in group, Prism?
Mm-hmm.
That's the original camcorder back in the early 2000s.
Oh. Cool.
Equipment's a little lighter these days. Thank goodness. When we do kids tours, like, what is that? Like,
Oh, wow.
the camera.
Yeah. That's some
We've been trying to explain negatives.
awesome evidence.
So we have a display of those upstairs, and it's not going well.
Oh, wow.
Did you catch that?
Trade even down that one right there. It almost looks like a electroplasmatic, which could be pushed off from EMF fields.
Now, I mentioned hygiene. There was very little until the 1930s when proper plumbing comes into the facility. At that point, you get to start taking a shower once a week with your clothes on because that's the main form of laundry available to inmates.
Mm-hmm.
They also didn't hand out uniforms, so whatever you're wearing at time of rest is what you're wearing your entire stay, be that a couple of nights to 365 days.
Right.
When you step up, we'll be coming into the shower. The shower would have been where this picture hangs today, and you can see in the picture, it wasn't really a shower head, it's more of a garden tap. And just so you guys are aware, this is not attached to the ground.
Okay.
So just watch for that in the dark.
So it just curled and came out of here?
Basically, yeah. You can kind of see the paint shadow. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
where it would have been as well. So enough to rinse off, I guess. There is a step down on this side when you come over here. And this area is kind of our salute to law enforcement here in Potawatomi County. This case has some of the older pieces of equipment used. The other tall case is slightly more contemporary. We're losing that every day. On top of both are light bars that were used on local squad cars. And on the blackboard, those are going to be some of the sheriffs and jailers that worked with the facility. The sheriffs oversee the county as well as the building, and the jailers are the boots on the ground, so to speak. So if it says jailer underneath, they're the jailer. If it just has the years, that's their term as sheriff. And then directly across from me, that little 8.5 by 11 piece of white paper, that's going to be a fairly comprehensive list of the staffers here over the years.
Okay.
It's not everyone, but it's pretty close for the 84 years. Unfortunately, the earlier ones, The jailer's wife is Mrs. Jailer. But she did get paid since the start, so that's something. I'll take the small wins. In this section, we do have a few memorials, and we're going to speak about one, but that's about Deputy Claude Dale during the 1932 farmers' riots. The gentleman is the one with the hat. He's the only one with the hat in that photograph. In 1932, there was farmers' riots going on in that area. They were trying to make better money or pay for what they were producing. They go on strike. Farmers and others from further out start crossing those picket lines. It's never a good choice, so there was a lot of violence and property damage. Once that occurs, arrests start being made. We ended up with probably about 160 to 165 men in the cage. The capacity is 60, and that's tight already. So it's probably 5 to 6 eating and sleeping in shifts in the cells. Now there's also that big staff of 2. I'm sure they're very tough, but 2 is 2. So the sheriff at the time, Sheriff Percy Laneson, he'll be second down, second in. He swore in about 100 special deputies to assist with the unrest in the area, as well as in the facility. These officers were doing riot gun training in the office where we started the tour. Unfortunately, there was a round in the chamber and it misfired during this training, injuring one officer and fatally injuring Deputy Claude Dale. He'd been on duty for a total of 3 days at this time, and had also survived the First World War. To die in what was essentially friendly fire. So it's never a nice ending, but that one just breaks my
So
heart.
he'd only been on the force for 3 days.
3 days, yeah. Was going through the rifle training, the guy running the training neglected to clear the weapon, as you know you should. Anytime you're pointing it around people, basically. And so it misfired and killed a man, and injured another officer pretty severely. Luckily, he is the only officer who's passed in the line of duty in our facility, but just an extra painful one.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I want inmates to be taking out our officers, but I would have preferred it that way. Then, you know, officer does not clear weapon. 2, 1 injured, 1 killed. That's
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow.
yeah, it's never gonna be good, but that one just
For sure.
eats at me a little bit more. I'll put it that way. Now tonight, to get back to the kitchen and office, you'll go this way.
Okay.
This first floor really is just a circle, so if you're starting to feel a little disoriented, do not turn around. Keep going that one direction, and that's how you're gonna get out if you're starting to feel a little off down here. But for the tour, we are gonna backtrack. We're just not used to buildings being circles. So it gets a little funky if you're not used to it yet. It gets normal after a few hours. At least I tell myself that. But before we go up the stairs, there's this welding mark here, and this is the angle of the original staircase. It was incredibly steep, going to all 3 levels. In 1960, while they made all the other changes, this staircase is put in instead, and a portion of the original is the fire escape today. It's just on the other side of this wall. So as you go up the stairs, if you look out the window to the right, you can see that really steep staircase. So it's right there.
Oh boy.
It's fun. My favorite fun fact is all the display cases you've seen so far came through that staircase. Because these are not proper doorways. You can't get a thing through them.
Oh
So our
boy.
volunteers carried these ones, those really tall cases, up those stairs.
Oh, that'd be fun.
They just took off the railing and just kind of like booted them up. I knew they were strong, but I didn't expect that. And on your right there, those are the jailer's records from 1933 that I spoke about briefly earlier. I really encourage you to look through them tonight. You'll see speeding, passing on the wrong side of the road. My personal favorite is fishing without a license can get you 5 nights.
Oh, really?
And I get 5 nights for fishing without a license.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Is it illegal? Yes. Is it 5 minutes in jail illegal?
5 nights?
I'd gladly take the fine.
I take it.
Right. But if you can't pay it, you're like, maybe he was trying to get dinner. That's just my guess.
He needed a
And then
break?
A lot of
from the
poultry
kids?
theft, things like that.
Fishing without the license.
But you know, different way to spend it, right? Mm-hmm. You're also going to see VNPA. That's violation of the National Prohibition Act. So they're either selling, transporting, or making intoxicating liquors. You could drink it, you just can't make it, move it, or sell it. Nice little loophole.
Prohibition.
Yeah, so prohibition, legal to drink. You just legally can't do anything else with it. You'll also find felony level charges in there, and that means they're here during their processing or sentencing and being taken to a long-term facility, because we are short-term,
Yeah.
You're here for that small thing.
Under a year. A day under a year.
Yeah. And then just so you know, that radiator is broken, so it wiggles. You're welcome to lean against
I
it.
just found that.
Yeah, I just want you to know, when you walk past it, it will also wiggle.
Okay.
So it's not the exciting thing we want it to be, it just wiggles. And then there are blueprints on the blackboard, those were drawn up in 1957. And those articles will correspond to inmates in that record.
That's record. Awesome.
Harry Gardner will have a different year, but he's in there. He was a frequent flyer.
Oh, gosh.
He had trouble with alcohol. Not a bad guy, but he could have used rehab, and I don't think that was available for him at the time. So the judge would make bets with him, like, if I don't see you in here for 6 months, I'll let this one go, right? But if I see you in here within that time period, you're getting a double sentence. basically. I think he was just trying to help him off because he drinks hair tonic at one point.
Oh.
So like, just a bit desperate, I think. I don't think he was a bad guy, but needed some help. Look at this thing. I think he was missing at least the fingers on one hand.
So, I saw the food latch or hatch downstairs. Are those on the same spot in each floor?
Exact same spot.
So how would the catwalk? Is that how they would?
No, unfortunately, you have to go up and down the stairs on the front. You'll be able to see that a little bit later
Oh,
on. So
okay.
after the jailer's wife has prepared all of the food, you get to take trays to like all 3.5 levels. So you get a tray, 2 cups, 2 plates, 2 spoons coming through. The jailer will crank the building around to allow you to come out and get your food. If you're well behaved, you get to hang out in the bigger space. If not, you're taking your food in your cell. So, no fun for anyone.
No.
Now, on this level is the 5th death that we're aware of in the facility. It's actually the first one that occurred in the early 1890s. It was Thomas Rifle. The last name is the German spelling. He'd been harassing a young woman in town, just continues the harassment, and is booked for bootlegging as well. He's brought inside, he's done time before, he just can't do it again. He takes probably a laundry line and rope around his neck and is slowly suffocated throughout the night. If we're reading the history correctly, it's possible it was still rotating continuously at that time.
Okay.
Don't know for sure, but that one was the most brutal, in my opinion, either way.
Yeah,
So
that'd take a little bit.
It'd be slow.
Yeah.
That was the 5th we have on record. In 84 years, we try and make sure to do some research before we bring any up. The one at the picnic table is one we found out about a couple of years ago. So we're still learning. But over here, this is Charles Brown and Charles Kelly. They decided they needed to make some quick cash. To them, it was robbing convenience stores and banks. Or excuse me, in bars, not banks. They weren't that good. It devolved into a 3-day, 3-state shooting spree, starting in Minneapolis, working their way into Omaha, and ending up here in the Council Bluffs area. During that time, they attacked at least 7 people. 3 to 4 did die due to their injuries. One bartender in Minneapolis was shot a total of 6 times before he was able to get to the hospital where he was in critical condition, but they missed all his vital organs. And that's a pattern that stays all 3 days. They shoot basically without looking, just blindly. Now, in the Council Bluffs area, they carjacked 2 separate men. One survived, the other did not, so it was very obvious they were in town. Local law enforcement set up roadblocks in order to capture them. Brown, Kelly, and Brown's mistress decide to get out of the area, get on a bus, and are stopped at one of the roadblocks. All 3 are brought here. The woman is housed here as a witness and for investigation, later released, but Brown is here for parts of his trial. He is found guilty and sentenced to execution in 1962 at Fort Madison, about 5 hours east of us. Kelly was concerned for bias, though, so he petitioned the court to be tried in Mills County. That was granted, but he too is found guilty, sentenced to execution again in 1962 at Fort Madison. They were known as the Mad Dog Killers by some. He was about 19, 20 at the time, and Brown's about 29, 30 years old. And this is the noose and portion of noose used in those executions. Any questions about these two?
No.
All right, we're moving to these two also. These are all about Jake Bird. He was housed here in about 1928 after the attempted murder of a husband and wife in the Carter Lake area, in that general direction. This was the house he broke into, his mugshot and fingerprint card from our location, or copies of. He was housed here and a few other jails in order to have a live man to go to trial. He is found guilty and sentenced to 30 years at Fort Madison. He got out after about 12 due to good behavior, received a job on the railroads, was easy to move around the country. He's picked up in Washington State in 1947 for the murder of a mother and daughter. He was easily connected to the crime because brain matter was still in his person at the time of arrest. Taken to court, found guilty, sentenced to execution, where he admitted to 44 additional axe slings. So he connects himself to 46. Courts can connect to about 10 or so because of the time period, and it's also, a lot of it circumstantial. But that's still quite a few to be connected to. One's more than enough.
Yeah. Around that time, like, axe murders were very happening in the United
They were,
States.
and it sounds like crazy and mad, but what's in your backyard to heat your house?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so just like you have your baseball bat in the house now, right? So you just had your axe around. It was the work tool that you
Or
needed.
be right there on the stump for where you split your wood,
Exactly,
you know?
or near your fireplace inside.
Yep.
So I like to think of that because otherwise I'm just a little too freaked out of how many axe-wielding maniacs we may have had around. I need that other side to sleep at night.
Right.
But he doesn't like to let us do that because he decided everyone involved with his punishment should die before his execution, and 6 die in that coming time. About 5 heart attacks in a case of bronchitis. That becomes known as the Jake Bird Hex. He is then executed in 1949 in Walla Walla, Washington. He's also known as the Tacoma Axe Killer. We have the wording of the hex over on the board, and also the individuals who passed in the connection to his case or in his words punishment. So a very creepy individual. We also have a copy of the death certificate and articles of the time period on this law. I'll move so you guys can see those things. And he's too young for ballista. There's multiple in this area, as we were saying.
We were gonna ask. So what are these hinges?
So that was put in at the request of a jailer. It's an old trap door. It's been sealed up. The only thing you need to worry about it with tonight is it is a tripping hazard, and it does not feel good. Just take my word. Go with that. But if you're working on this level, And if a fight or medical emergency, whatever, breaks out on the first floor, you have to unlock and lock 3 doors, go down the stairs, unlock and lock 3 doors.
Easy.
By the time you get down there, it could be very serious. So instead, you're going to unlock that, drop a rope ladder, and deal with the situation.
Okay.
Then directly underneath it, if you guys want to, next to that case with the locks and restraints, if you look up in that section, you can see little bits of the rope embedded in the steel down there. I spent a lot of time looking up at things.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I could have done it, but I couldn't have been a jailer either. So
So is the fence around? Is that the original
it
fence?
is.
It is. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
One inmate tried to escape and his pant leg got caught.
Oh.
boy.
So luckily not his leg, but it was still. So instead, it was just highly embarrassing that he had to be plucked off the fence and brought back inside.
At least he wasn't.
Yeah, it could have been so much worse, but I'm sure the embarrassment felt really good.
Right.
But this is one of the hand cranks. You're welcome to pass this guy through. It is pretty heavy, really solid. It would have attached kind of on this peg
You
here.
see that, right?
You can see in pictures
light
of the
switch
jailers,
flicker.
there was more to the mechanism, but when it was dismantled in 1960, this did need to run as a jail for another 9 years, so you couldn't leave the
Okay,
full
that's
piece of
pretty
gear.
good. I asked the
You can see
police
some of the
cleaner.
gear work in the shaft as well.
I was looking at this.
I will warn you, it's still greasy.
Oh, and it just goes like that. Okay. That's awesome.
And if you guys like to just set that hand crank down on the floor in that general area, I would appreciate it. If you'd like to attach it here tonight, you're welcome to. Just make sure it goes back on the floor when you're not, because it hangs at shin level.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just not going to be fun.
Yeah, that don't sound too fun.
I'll have you all head to my right. Do watch your head as you enter cells in this area. They are on the shorter side, I'm told. And I only have foam on the front entrance, so
Yeah, a little bit shorter. Oh.
welcome up. No worries.
Oh.
You're welcome to go into the cell on the left if you want, in the back. But this is juvenile detention.
Wow.
This could potentially be used for 3 to 13-year-olds.
These cells are a lot bigger than the others.
Yes. With free child labor laws, those that we know of today started in the 1930s. So kids 3 to 13 are part of the workforce. If you're part of the workforce, you could potentially be arrested. If that occurs, they're going to be housed here. You could also be housed here if mom, dad, or guardian has been arrested, because child services starts in the 1960s. So they needed somewhere for that. In the cell to my left, you can see a few fingerprint cards. One of them is a 12-year-old boy who was shooting chickens in the 1920s, and he could be held by the state until he was 21 years of age if they chose. I don't know if they did, because my information only goes to what happened in this building. The other 2, I believe, are like 13 and 14-year-olds stealing cars. So they were busy.
So the 3-year-olds, is that more of a orphan situation?
It could be, but I don't know that we had anyone 3 to 5 in here
It
on the
just
fingerprint
is-
cards. It's a potential that they could be, especially with child services. But you do have to remember the time that we're open. Kids are working in the coal mines. They're working in the factories. They have the little hands.
Mhm.
Little hands can do the machinery. So it was stuff like that. I can't confirm it because our fingerprint cards don't go back necessarily that far. They do go pre-1930s, but I don't know how strict we were on it here. I like to think we weren't as strict on that one, but it is a potential, absolutely. Childhood that we know today is very new and very different. I, for one, am very pleased for that, because kids need to be kids. It's better brain development.
Yes.
But in this front section, there is a toilet in the back left-hand corner. There is a shower, likely hot and cold water, the way that those pipes are set up. So a little bit better, and you're not rotating up here either. And then the little doors in the wall, there's one to the kind of the right of the conduit in there. It's the right of the wooden bench in the cell to my right. The very back cell is to the right of the radiator. Those used to open. You place coals inside, and that would help heat this section, heating up those walls. It does help. I can tell you, August, that wall in the shower downstairs, you can just feel it radiating that heat. You're welcome to look around this side. We're going to meet directly across the hall. It is another low entry point into that room. Those work a little better during the day.
Wow, these cells are so much bigger than the
So
others.
it's not like that.
I mean, they ain't even that big, but they're way bigger than the other ones.
You know, little ones, potty training, we're just going to keep it taped. I don't want to find out that far. When you're ready, we'll head into this room here.
Okay.
And do watch your head.
Yep.
I know I say it a lot, but half my tours, they hear it in the first room and then walk straight into this one. And metal does not feel good. Now this room looks a little different. Originally, it looked just like juvenile detention. If you look at the floor on either side of the door, we have these seams. We have the seams again on the ceiling and above the cabinet. Those seams are where the bars would have connected to the floor. There's also little marks on the metal walls. There's one here, goes all the way across the length of the wall, one down here. That's where the bunks would have attached. The other 2 metal walls have those similar marks. When it looked like juvenile detention, this was women's housing. Some point during our history, I don't know the exact date, unfortunately, but this was remodeled for an additional staff member. You finally have that little bit of backup. Sometimes it's that afternoon, sometimes it's going to be a night jailer, depending on the year. So it is a little bit nicer. They changed it up into this one big room, put up the thinnest wall you've ever seen to make it a little bit more comfortable for that additional staff member. But this is also the one working bathroom in the building. When you're looking for the light switch, it's over here because it was one big room.
Okay.
You're welcome to look around, and we'll meet on the landing.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You weren't joking.
Oh boy.
There was no space left in between the floors in 1885 for plumbing, so the space is added with those platforms.
Right.
You'll see it in a few spaces in our building.
Well, I'm like, I really have to pee. How am I going to climb up while I'm holding my legs together?
Makes it more interesting. I broke my ankle a few years ago, and I was just working for like really short times in the winter. I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'm not climbing the stairs on a platform on crutches. That's too much.
Right.
I can do the stairs. They're nice and sturdy. But I didn't want to make that phone call.
Right.
Right. So we do have the third floor cells blocked off because that's where we store some of our archives, some of our merchandise. They look like the first and second levels of cells. The big thing is we have a computer system in there to the right, so you might see a little bit of a glow. You're welcome to lean across that rope to make sure it's not interfering with any of your equipment, but it is a nice thick wall, so I don't think it would, but you're welcome to do that.
Okay.
Like I said, the only thing we're hiding is kind of disorganized chaos. We're going to head on up to the next landing. And we wish we had a back room where we could store stuff, but the jail didn't come with that, so we have to store it somewhere. You guys are welcome to go into both rooms on this level tonight, but they were used for punishment during the summers, so during this time of year they're usually 90 degrees or more, so you don't really want to hear about them in those rooms. This is also why I highly recommend taking water throughout with you. I don't think they're as bad as they have been, thank goodness, but they've been a little rough these last few weeks. So, like I said, punishment rooms during the summer, they could be reward rooms at other times of the year for trustees. Those are inmates here usually at least a month. They've done something nonviolent, but they have a little bit of a stay, and they're going to be your backup help if you trust them enough, and that's why they're your trustee. This room is also the infirmary. If you're sick, broken arm, broken leg, you'll be brought up here. Doctor's on call, and he's going to take care of you when he's available. There are medical pieces in there today. Those have been donated to us, would not have been in there when inmates were in there. But you'll see a dental chair and drill in the back left-hand corner, kind of in front of it, a black piece of equipment. That's for the front of the eye and cornea. And in this corner, there is a medicine cabinet as well. So accurate for the time period. And this side could also be women's housing if they need that space. And you'll see a fingerprint card of a 15-year-old housewife in there that was arrested for adultery. So things have changed a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
For the better, I hope. When and if you go into these rooms, there's 2 steps up and a large step down, so just watch for that as you go in. It's a little unexpected because it's just a straight drop. But we'll head on up to the 4th. A little nicer up here.
A little bit.
This has been a favorite spot in the last few weeks, I think. Hitting those nice triple digits. It gets a little toasty in this building. And then it gets really cold in this building.
Oh, that is weird. Okay.
Whole different place up here, right?
Right?
This is where the jailer and his family would live. But in the middle is that ventilation shaft and maintenance shaft that I've been talking about since the beginning that I won't shut up about, right? When you look in, if you look down, you're going to see little circles of light. Those circles are the ventilation holes from the toilets. It's supposed to be that heat rises theory, everything up and out. There was a trap door on top. Originally, it's been closed off for the museum. Left, you can adjust the airflow. Now, by 1932, they had inmates dig a tunnel to jail in order to have a fresh air intake, which I think would help instead of just hoping stagnant air goes up. Not the best, right?
Right.
Now, another thing, you guys will probably split up in groups tonight. If you're like any other group I've seen, make sure this door and that one are closed, or you're just going to hear each other. It echoes like nobody's business.
Okay.
I can hear everything from the office if you leave these doors open,
Okay.
which I'm fine with, but you might not be fine
Right.
with. But you guys are going to head to the room on the left, the green walls. That room feels very crooked. We're perfectly safe, but it's a little fun house when you walk in.
Oh. Huh. Oh, that.
Whole building is crooked. You just really feel it in this room. I think in part because you're walking towards the window, or at least that's what I figure. Who knows? But it's metal underneath. We're above the cell block, so everything underneath us is metal. Now in here, this is a large bedroom. Originally, as plumbing comes into the building, they finally have a bathroom on the floor they live, and so it is remodeled more to what we see today. The giant windows up here bring the majority of light to this level, and if you're looking for a light switch up here, you're most likely to find a push button. And then back there is just kind of the furnace and storage room, so you shouldn't really hear anything from there. The big reason it's locked is because the floor is crooked, and it keeps the door shut. But we'll head this way. Are you guys ready? Throughout the building, you're welcome to sit in the chairs that look like that one. Some will look a little newer, some look a little bit older, but if they have that rounded, you're welcome to sit in those. You can also sit on this bench in here, this chair, and that far chair. Just note that one's a rocking chair. And then up here, this is their living room. It's a pretty good size. The family could hang out in here. Kids could have sleepovers if they wanted. Jailer Foster, our second class jailer, had card parties and would entertain his friends. It was normal for the time that we were open. And this piece, while not original, it is from 1904, and it's accurate to the time. They may have had something similar up here as well. And that cabinet, I mentioned all the way back in the kitchen that there was one that matched. That's the one that matches, built by Chef Browning in the early 1900s. You can see that detail work across the top again. Many of the pieces up here were taken with the families when they left because it was their stuff. So, we'll have this light. If you look at the light switch in this room, it's in this weird spot. I'm happy to help with lights out, but that would give a general idea. In this room, we have it set up as the main bedroom, kind of his and hers for our purposes. That could change depending on the size of the family or the year. But over on the sewing table, there is a portrait of a jailer, wife, and their young child that did live and work here. Then in here, just like that bathroom, there was another room off of this one. It would have been behind where the wardrobe stands today. The door would have been directly behind it. Now, it was likely closed off because of heating, but in either 2013 or 2015, I mix 3s and 5s sometimes, so I don't know which one. They decided to put a hole in the wall and see what it looked like. We all wanted it to be much cooler than it is. Unfortunately, it's an empty, dusty room, but you're more than welcome to look in here. Just know this is the only way in and out of this room, so I can't get anything back for you if anything drops in here. But you're welcome to step up to it. You're welcome to keep the picture down, or if you prefer it covering that hole, that's up to you guys. That's basically everything I have when it comes to the tour. Light switches usually are directly to your left or right as you enter a room if you need those at any point. And for the staircase, they're usually to the right of that big cell block door. Again, have no lights out. I just want you to have a general idea. If you're looking for that, you can find it. Did you guys have any questions for me?
Well, no, think you answered everything as we did our tour.
All right.
Are we able to stay in any of the cells?
You're welcome to sleep in the cells if you want. It's up to you. Bottom bunk is the only thing I asked there. They're not comfortable, but it's...
Awesome.
So I was standing up here taking pictures on the first floor and was looking in the
And look down. So from right
jail
here
cell,
to
and I
here,
felt like I got
felt
pushed
really,
back.
really heavy.
Kind of lost my
Like the
balance.
restraints are being put right there.
We just went through and had
And as soon as I came down from that
Tour.
step, they feel fine
and
and not as hot.
that I was pushed. Me
Rooms.
a little bit. Not gonna
When
lie.
we were doing the tour, my ear was hurting like an earache and like an ear infection. But as soon as we walk up these stairs here and go into the room,
What's going on?
That cat ball is going on.
Are we getting that on the camera?
I hope so. We're going to run an EVP session to allow you to be able to communicate with us. Feel free to communicate with us. We got the cat. Or with one of them over there. Either way, we would greatly appreciate it. We see that you're setting off this cat ball. Can you tell me your name? Will you tell me your name, please? So, like, there's no movement going on. Like, you can't feel any, like, you know what I mean?
I was wealthy.
You were wealthy? Did you have a lot of money? Or were you wealthy in, like, love?
Are you an inmate? Are you an inmate here?
Do you know where we're at?
Boots.
Are you talking about our boots? Or are you talking about your boots? Did you have boots?
Let's build some trust here. Can you tell me your name?
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We trust you. Can you trust us to communicate with us? Tell us your story. Walk up to the device that we got and tell us your name. Go off again.
Shut off.
Thank you.
Are you imprisoned here?
Here?
Yes.
In the jail itself, were you an inmate here?
Yes. Answering all the phone. Can you set the ball? Can you make the ball stop? Can you make it go off if you were an inmate?
Can you make it light up if you were an inmate here? Were you an inmate? Did you work here?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go
This
check
is
out
your-
the
this is your
infirmary.
last chance. We're gonna go check out the infirmary. Something touched my bag.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, it's funny because it's shooting from that side.
Yeah, something touched my back in there. I'm not going to get that cat out. And it was just.
Was that you that touched Trey? Can you touch one of the balls that we placed up for you? They'll light up pretty colors to let us know where you're at. If that was you who touched Trey, can you come up to this device that's right in front of me? Touch it again right now. Just like that. All you gotta do is walk up to it. You see that antenna? You see how I'm setting it off right now? That's all you gotta do. Make that red light turn different colors.
I rolled that ball in there, and then it touched it in my bag.
Alright, well let's we're gonna start off with the EVP session in here. Feel free to communicate with us. We would love to talk to you. You whistle. You guys
Did you
sound-
whistle?
No, but I heard it.
I
think
heard
cat did
that.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us tonight in the Squirrel Cage jail? There's a yes right off the bat. Okay. What's your name? Who touched Sully's leg earlier?
Tom?
Who's Tom? Is Tom short for Thomas? We are dead. Pray. Whoa. Oh gosh, are you behind me? Are you in the shower with me? Okay. I'm seriously. The sound of paint chips. Dropping? No, not dropping. Crunching. Is that you?
Can you touch one of the cat balls? Just touch it.
Ball. Yes. Ball. That's
Sounds like a humming. Like a pipe.
Oh yeah. Maybe because when you shake it, you know what I mean. Were you shaking the cell? Is that the sound we just heard?
Did you touch my back earlier?
Why you want us to pray? Do you want us to pray for you? Oh my gosh.
What?
Can you tell me the name that's on this door? Does that sound like it said man?
Is that the name on the? Is that the name on the door?
Yeah, that is the name on the door. What about the name right here? What's that?
Gentlemen.
Can you tell me that name?
Maybe go in. Jared. Go in. So you can get a shot of the.
Yeah.
Brett, we're gonna send her in there with you.
Okay. Whoa, why does it look smoky?
It kind of smells smoky.
It looks smoky.
Smell like smoky or smoke.
It looks smoky. Look back at that. It looks smoky.
I told you it smelled smoky earlier.
Oh shit, it does. Like when I dropped that.
Is
Yeah,
it?
because as I was dropping.
Is that you smoking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, twice. That one was eerie sounding. What's your favorite tobacco?
My shoulder.
What's your favorite tobacco? Oh my god, hey.
Kettle.
Ball.
It just said cat ball.
Good job, yes, that's what that is. Can you do it again? Can you set that off again right next to me? And just so you guys can see. That ain't me setting that off. Do it one more time for me. No. It said no. I understand. Feel free to use the devices however you want. Can you set off the one in the other cell for me? The one with all the lights on it? Make it go blue.
Just come up and touch.
See, I thought it said Matt. I thought it said Matt. And I was like, okay. So I tried getting it to say Jerry. I didn't get it to say Jerry. Hey, it said light.
We had John.
Larry, are you in here?
You guys got it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Matt!
Matt and Seward.
Look behind you? Hey, it just said look behind you. I don't know who it was talking to.
Do you want to look behind them?
Who is that in there? Who's in that cell in front of Trey? Who? What's your name? What's your name? Bill?
Yeah. That's on the door.
That's on the door too? Can you come talk to us, Bill? Are you in here with us?
Thank you.
Are you in this
Shower?
shower with us? Can you tell me how many fingers Trey is holding up? You holding up 3? We got 3. Oh my god.
Kibble.
I'm gonna reenact that in a second just to see if that sets that off.
Okay. I just seen a orb. I just seen a orb over here.
Awesome. Well, did we just see you? So obviously I didn't set that off when I did that because I just tried to. We're gonna take that cat ball and we're gonna go up to the jailers. What? Bet? Hey.
Bet.
So this is the jailer's apartment. These rooms right here and right here are off limits, obviously. You see padlock on it. But this is, oh my god. I smell oatmeal cookies. Come over here. I smell oatmeal cookies.
I smell like.
told you downstairs I smelled something sweet.
That's distinctive. That smell is distinctive. So, I guess.
Yeah, when you swing the door this way, it gets worse. Like come shut the door, but smell at the same time as you shut the door.
if she's eating.
Oh, yeah.
Downstairs.
Yep. It definitely does.
It's coming from up here.
It is.
There's no kitchen over there.
No. To me, it smells like rubber.
No,
Like,
but
they
what
did.
if they had some sort of hot plate? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Something like that.
They did have parties up here.
True. Very true.
True. So they
So-
have to.
So here's a little bit of back history on this. Obviously, you guys heard it from her at the beginning of the video, but this is the area that the jailer and his wife slept. If you look right here, this photo, the main jailer, his wife, and child, they all lived in this area. Some of the stuff you see.
It's like it's.
It's like just dirt in there.
I'm gonna put some cat balls on there. Can you tell us if you used to work here? Did you used to work here? Did you live here? It's a ball too, but I can't say that wasn't me because I touched that button. So hold on. If that's you, can you set the one by the picture off? The one Trey's pointing at? Okay, so that wasn't me, guys. Could you set that ball off again? Obviously it was you, and we are grateful to talk to you.
Did you like living here? Did you host parties up here?
You set off one of these devices. I'm gonna go join. 1 minute. I'm gonna go join the party. That was creepy. I wanna look inside there. I haven't. Is that ball?
That one up there, like above the window when I walked out, I saw a face.
Okay. Mom?
Yeah.
Trey, will you post some cat balls up out there and then in this main area where we first walked into? Are you? Is that you and your family? It's nice to meet you. Sully's having an experience right now. The center of her chest is starting to hurt right after we got a confirmation.
Right here. It feels like somebody's pushing on it.
Is that you touching Sally? Can you tell me how you died? Do you like guns? There's a pipe right there. Right behind you.
Yep.
Is that your pipe? Pipe. It said pipe. Yeah. Did you smoke out of that pipe? Oh, what does that? Do you like to polish your boots?
Okay. Do you want the
I'm gonna just set this one up right here. Yeah, go ahead and turn that off because it'll be easier for us to see both sides. We're gonna go sit in this room over here. Ball. Yeah, you see the ball I just put down? Yeah, ball.
first one?
Do you want me to play the piano? Can I make some music for you? I know how to play the piano. Go ahead.
Something doesn't sound like piano. Something. You want Sully to play?
We can sing him a song.
There, it's an organ. You have to pump it.
Do you like music? Speaker in there? What is your name?
And it said Ed. Look at the names on that.
Oscar, Anna, Sam, Carrie, Edwin.
Ed, for short.
Ed, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Was your name Oscar? Anna? Is Anna here? Sam?
Sam.
So we got an Ed and a Sam here. What about Carrie, Joanna, or Jens? Oh wait, Jens.
Let's see this sit.
Do these dog tags belong to you? Can you tell me how? You keep saying it. Music box made in Geneva. 1800s.
Can you tell us how you died?
How old were you? Get to the point.
Remember those telephone bill that.
Oh yeah,
That's what I was talking
that would have been it. So this right here would have been able to communicate with the one that was downstairs that we showed you guys in the live feed. That was inside the casing. If you had the opportunity to check out the live feed, then definitely see us go in there.
What's your favorite color?
Can you make one of the cat balls go off?
How old are you, Ed?
Hannah?
Do you like lights? If you touch that ball, it'll light up for you.
Any one of them. We got several throughout this apartment.
Red? Yep, it'll shine red.
Can you light that one up in the center of the floor? Please?
Can you make any of your music boxes go off by itself?
Anna, did you like to play the organ? Or piano? Did you girls like to play the organ?
We're going to ask a series of questions. Please feel free to either talk into the device that's right next to me or go up to Trey and talk to Trey. At this point in time, Trey will respond with whatever he believes that you're saying. Can you tell us how long you've been here?
Trapped.
Are you trapped here?
Fast.
Can you make a sound for us? A knocking sound? That said knock.
Mom.
How old are you? Can you tell me how you passed?
Flashing.
I'm gonna go take a peek. Where? I don't see any flashing. I moved the one on this side. These balls go off for us. Just walk up to it and touch it. They will flash.
Anywhere.
What's your favorite color?
I had to stand still so I wonder.
I think I heard pink. Pink.
Twice. Do you feel more comfortable with the light? Is it easier for you to move around without the lights on?
Did you like to play the piano?
Believe us.
That guy said no.
Don't tell.
And then
most kids.
Did you like to host parties up here? Did you like having company up here?
I can understand that last one. Man, maybe? Anna, are you talking to Trey? Can you tell him what your favorite thing to do here was? Was it cards? Was it cook? I didn't hear it. Can you tell Trey? Will you go talk to him? We're listening. Are you in the cell? I'll rest.
Did any of you girls get married? Joanna, did you get married?
Attachment. Who? Can you tell me the name of the person or item that you're attached to? Let's sing voice. You heard that right. Let's sing voice because the two separate times saying something different.
Who's playing with my hair? Somebody's playing with my hair.
Who's playing with Sally's hair?
Who's pushing on my back? Somebody's pushing on my back.
Hey. Trey feeling touched. Are you touching Trey? Did you touch Sally? Is it the same person?
Yes.
So you guys got touched by the same person.
I can feel it.
Hello, friend. Hello. It's nice communicating with you. We appreciate you talking to us. Can you sit off this ball? 7. I'm only 7. I'm only 7.
Oh my gosh.
Were you incarcerated here? Or are you just passing through? No. Do you know you got passed?
Did?
Yeah. Her intelligent. We are.
Evidence.
Is that you moving? Evidence. Is it evidence that you're here, you mean?
Was it hard to live here?
If you say so. That guy said yes. Yes. We definitely had a great evening investigating here. I think I found where I'm going to sleep tonight. It's so nice up here compared to downstairs.
I'm sleeping where there's air conditioning. Out in my seat.
Will you come in here with us? Are you who I saw behind the door? Yes.
Yes.
What does it?
Cleansing. Cleansing.
Cleansing? But that was dark. Like the shadow I seen wasn't no transparency to it. You know what I mean?
Can you make one of these cat balls go off in here?
Concentrate.
Concentrate on you setting off this cat ball. I'm gonna come in here with you. Or with whatever I see. I don't know if maybe it was a reflection. Because if you look, the bay window is open.
True.
But I don't know what would reflect the dark behind that door.
Standing behind you.
Oh.
Behind me?
Sit.
Wow. Hey. Do you like birds? Did that say Margaret? That's the name of the cook, the jailer's wife. And this picture in here? Margaret is the lady. The daughter's name is Eva. I'm 10 years old. And the jailer's name is Robert. Robert? Bob? If that's what you go by? Disaster. Alright guys, so we got one more final step. It's already 4:30, so we're trying to go ahead and finish this up, wrap this investigation up, head to another area real quick, and be done for the night. Obviously, we're capturing some really, I guess, good EVPs, but also at the same time, there was stuff that was connecting with what Trey was saying in his EVP session, along with our EVP session with the speaker over here. So we're curious, probably during editing, to figure out who exactly it is. But there's been a couple of times during tonight's investigation where it's just flat out there's connection points. So I really feel good about tonight's investigation. Like I was saying, the live feed, if you haven't had the opportunity check out that live feed. We had some amazing captures during the place we're about to go right now. Alright guys, so we're going to finish off the night. We're doing an SB7 session. We're doing an SB7 session. This will allow us to be able to communicate with whatever entity would like to communicate with us here. We got a lot of talk about Jake Bird during our live feed tonight, so we decided to come back here and finish the night right here. And let's see what we can get. And then we're going to finish it out with the Estes method using the SB7 right after we do our EVP. So we hope you guys have enjoyed the content. If you haven't yet, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. Not just that, it gives you a chance to win some free merch in the near future. So with that being said, this is the end of our Squirrel Cage jail investigation. And we hope you guys enjoy. Jake, are you still here with us? I'm gonna get the cards ready. You want to play a game of cards? I got a card in my hand right now that I'm putting on here. Tell me what card that is. Tell me. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Ready? Cards facing down. Tell me what this card is. Three cards you got right tonight. You think you could get four? But I'm not sure. Alright, we're going to try for four. One more time. One more time. See if you can get it right. One more time. Police officer. Okay, there's the card right there. Just place it down. Right there. Can you tell me what that is? twice while I was doing the cards, and I just played it off like it was me.
Yeah.
That is definitely interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna set this up with the blind. Okay. Alright, so you hear that?
Yeah.
Like obviously, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna blindfold myself so I can't see your lips, can't read your words, nothing. And this will conclude our night here at the Squirrel Cage Jail. So if there's any question that you really want to get off your chest throughout the night that's been bugging you, now I don't think we're going to run another EVP session in the morning. No, I did that. I have to have that over the headset. She said no.
Are you in there with Brett?
Ha ha! Just like that. That was wild.
What's your name?
Inmate.
Inmate number what?
Can you say it one more time?
Something came through saying Texas.
How old are you?
One last time.
Why were you in jail?
Murdered.
Who did you murder?
How'd you pass away?
Killed. Death.
How?
Died.
How did you die?
Vengeance.
How old were you when you died?
Death.
How many people did you kill?
I heard the number 11 and then I heard dead. Dead again. Twice. Same voice.
How did you kill people?
I lived and died. Help me.
Where did you die at?
Around my neck.
Did you have a rope around your neck?
Got a deep voice that said, yeah. Oh, yeah. What year is it?
What's your name?
No. Help me out. What city did you die in? Mason. Mason? Mawson? Mason? Yeah, Mason.
Do you know what city we're in?
Iowa. Iowa. Twice. Back to back.
Do you know what city? What town?
I know. Over here. Murder. Do you feel me?
What's your name?
Help. Jake.
Jake, how many people did you kill?
Bad. Cruel. Tons. Those are 3 different people.
What did you use to kill them?
I don't. Dead. Axe. .46.
Do you have any remorse for killing them?
Please.
Please what?
Don't. 1.
You don't have any remorse?
I'm not guilty. I feel like my hand's being touched. A chick said sorry, and then drew. Now I feel like my back's being touched. Marked.
Did you work at the railroad for Union Pacific?
It's me.
How did they catch you?
I am. Married and love.
Were you married?
Never was. Keep away. Notes. Killing spree.
How many people did you kill on your killing spree?
Ooh. Do it again. But it was deeper than that, and it was like, do it again. Oh shit. Nightmares.
Yeah.
I will.
You'll always have nightmares for what you did.
For a while.
Can you make it go off again, please? Or one of these other ones?
No.
It
That was
just-
a female. Said no.
Thank you.
Gentleman said yeah, no. Yeah, no. You know? Maybe it was you know. You see?
Yes, we seen.
Yes. No. Don't.
Can you make one of the other balls go off, please?
I already have. I'm willing. Wow. Something dark, just like, not dark, but like sinister sounding, came over. Dark, it just said dark and sinister right after I said that. It says 450. So what?
Went off again.
Dead.
Can you turn one of these other ones on? Like that one up there?
Little child says something.
Or that one? Or even the one on the floor?
You turn the one on by me.
Or by Sally over there on the floor?
I thought I heard yes. I could be mistaken. Yes. No. 10-4. I heard a female screaming. I'm dead. We all die.
Yes, we do.
Good. We're friends. Kelly?
Can we shut that one off, please?
Ford. This guy keeps coming through saying Kelly. He said it like 3 times.
Are you sorry for what you did?
Could be. Yeah. I should. See me?
Yes, I see you.
Hey, I got some weird, like, banging going on the headset.
Trash man.
Alright, so just like that, we finished up our 3 a.m. challenge. It is probably about 5 o'clock.
5:30.
Well, probably about 5:30. And so we're gonna start to sort of pack up and get some rest and head out. So we hope you guys appreciated the content. With that being said, if you haven't yet, smash that like and subscribe. It does wonders for the channel. It helps us grow. It helps us be able to be seen by more people in the near future. Alright guys, it is 6 o'clock. We're finally about to pass out. And Trey and myself are going to sleep up on the 4th floor in the jailer's apartment area. I'll set up a couple cat balls around us. If they go off, you guys should be able to see them. I'm going to try running this standstill the whole time that we're sleeping. That looks good. Oh, yeah. One side bit.
All I know is this thing ain't that comfortable. All I know is this thing ain't that comfortable.
See you?
That was your foot.
Hmm?
I thought it was your foot.
No. So we went through 2 REM pod batteries tonight, man.
Oh, I thought we just went through the one.
No. We ate through the first one earlier. That one in the kids' thing was a brand new one. That's why I kept saying it's a brand new one, but it ate through it. It was normal. Not even that.
Brett,
Alright.
I think that lamp just moved.
Huh?
I think that lamp just moved.
Do what?
I think that lamp just moved.
What lamp?
Over there.
Oh no, it ain't moving now. But I thought I heard like a cage. Like, you know what I mean? And after a horrible night's sleep, we finished up our episode located at the Squirrel Cage Show. This place was an amazing location to check out. We are grateful to have you all a part of the community checking out our content. If you haven't yet, smash that like and subscribe button. Not just that, you can share it, leave us a comment, possibly even hit that notification bell so you don't miss a chance at winning some free merch. And not just that, but another video to drop on this channel. We hope you guys appreciate it, because we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time right here on Mystical Shadows 402.